Welcome to the Thankless Teaching Podcast. That's thankless with an I, because we understand your plates are full as educators. So let us dive deeper into the educational topics that matter the most to you. I'm your host, Tim Gilmore, and very excited to be here today. Today we'll look at one of my favorite topics, podcasting, and its effect on the educational world. As we all know, the best educators are those that can reach students on all levels. So, I pose this question to our listeners. How do you differentiate your teaching so that you can reach those kinesthetic, auditory, and visual learners? And that's why I think it's ultra important we discuss this phenomenon called podcasting. So many times we hear the word podcast and simply think about the same boring voice that is being recorded. But stop for a second and think about what you're doing right now. I bet many of you are listening to this podcast while driving or exercising, or maybe even sitting on that lovely beach as the water washes up on the shore. And that's the best part about podcast. You can access this podcast anywhere, anytime, and the best of all, you don't have to be sitting in front of a desk to feel like you are learning. For these reasons, exactly why students love them so much. And we can all learn from podcasts so well. Many of our students we teach are the busybody kids. This type of technique allows for them to move around and work off energy, all while learning. So, what else makes podcasts worth the time and the effort? One thing I truly love is how simple they are to access. So many times we create a technology lesson that we must make sure that our students know how to use the app or the website before we can even get into the learning. With podcast, it's as simple as just pressing play. More importantly, when they press play, they do not have to pay, and because podcasts are free, yes, I said free, and as teachers, we all know we love the word free. As I use podcasts in my classroom all the time, it has allowed me to become more organized, help those students that are absent, and even give a review to a student anytime, anywhere. As I create more and more podcasts for my students, I place these in a library which the students can access all year long. This has saved me so much time because when a student is absent, they can catch up by simply just pressing play. If a student needs a refresher on a topic, they can get this review at any time and anywhere. I have even designed subplants using a podcast, which was a dream for the individual that was subbing in my classroom. So, as you can see, podcasts can go a long way in advancing the learning in your classroom. I hope you've enjoyed today's podcast on podcast. As always, this is Tim Gilmore signing off for Thankless Teaching.